Hello everybody, it is Sarah from Carib Cherub, and today I'm going to be talking about how I came to the diet I am eating today. My story starts out pretty interesting, very different from what most people do when they transition into a plant-based or a vegan diet. So I am going to tell you how I started out and everything that basically I've gone through, my diet at least, to get to this point. I started out by becoming a vegan because I wanted to complete this thing on my bucket list. I made a bucket list. After completing a few other things, I decided to tackle one of the bigger things on my bucket list, and that was being vegan for 6 months. I didn't have any health aspirations necessarily associated with this. I didn't have any real reasoning behind it, except that I wanted to show myself that I could restrain myself, and I wanted to show myself how strong I was. So basically, I went vegan for 6 months, and during those 6 months, I ended up learning a lot, and I ended up feeling better. In the beginning, I ate pretty high fat. I ate a lot of soy milk. I ate a lot of peanut butter, a lot of peanut butter, which makes sense because I was transitioning off of a higher fat diet of cheese and things like that. I never ate a whole lot of meat right before I transitioned into vegan, but I ate quite a bit of cheese. Eggs, things like that. And then after a period of time, I ended up meeting Rob, my boyfriend now, and that kind of kickstarted me thinking about going vegan in the long term. It really kickstarted it. After maybe 3 months or so of being vegan, I recognized that I really enjoyed being vegan, and I noticed the increased health benefits, and I felt happier, and I did feel like I had more energy, and I didn't feel like I was missing a whole lot. I enjoyed the creativity, the challenge that came along with being vegan. And so after a few months of being a higher fat vegan with lots of peanut butter, lots of soy milk, things like that, quite a few refined foods, I started on, I would say, a less refined diet. I started eating more fruits and vegetables, more oatmeal, things like that. This was after my first semester, my first year of college, so I moved back into my parents and just kind of ate whatever they had. And then after talking with Rob a bit more, I was interested because he was leading a raw vegan lifestyle at the time, and I was really curious about that. I wondered, he eats all these bananas a day. I don't understand. And so he said that he felt really great. He felt really healthy. It was super cheap, and so I decided to do that too. That was my next diet, my third diet. I've done a lot of diets, or lifestyle choices, I suppose. And so I transitioned into a mainly banana diet, lots of bananas, banana smoothies for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and along with dinner I had zucchini pasta. So that was my raw vegan phase. And I did end up eating some cooked food because I wasn't consuming enough calories. It was hard to stick to, and it was extremely high in salt, and I did have added oils, fats, things like that. I wasn't necessarily healthy, and the cooked food that I did eat was somewhat refined. Some of the cooked food that I ate was at my parents' house, or it was white rice, but it wasn't horrible, and it was definitely better than some of the things that I ate before. Because Rob was in Europe at the time when we met, I went to Europe in August of 2013. We met, we ate mostly raw, some cooked, and after I came back, I stuck to raw, but I transitioned into an even quite a bit higher fat diet. I wanted to try to keep a fully raw lifestyle, which I was more successful at, but it was still high in fat. I was eating healthier than the majority of people, but the main thing that I was missing was low fat. I was missing all of the overt fats, all of the added fats that I just simply didn't recognize, that a lot of people don't recognize. Okay, so after this high fat, at the end of the year, I decided that I was going to switch priorities. I wasn't going to focus on fully raw anymore. I was going to focus on actually being healthy. I was going to focus on nutrients and being low fat, high carb. And this was actually after I learned that I had hypothyroidism. I went to the doctor because my hair was falling out. I was feeling weak and cold and tired. And it ended up being that my thyroid secreting hormone levels were through the roof. They were way over healthy levels, and so that's when I really decided to switch priorities. I was going to switch to a high carb, low fat diet. And that is not long before I decided to study abroad in Spain. So Rob and I met again in Spain, and we ended up living together for 6 months. And yeah, during the first of the 6 months, we tried to focus on healthy, low-fat foods, but they weren't necessarily as unprocessed as they should be, especially for me since I was looking to lose weight. And so towards the end of our time there, we focused on a more Furman-style diet. Um, we never really ate any added oils, much fat at all, but more focus on whole foods, more focus on vegetables and legumes. And during that time as well, we experimented a little bit. During a fruit cleanse, we did a 2-week fruit cleanse because Rob had gained a little bit of weight from some processed foods like pasta, breads, things like that. And then after that, we decided that, hey, why not do a starch week? So we experimented with that. And so now we're up to around April 2014, May 2014, and so I did a more Furman-style diet from around May 2014 to August 2014. I just did it for a few months because that is when I was on my own, and I went to Morocco and Spain, traveled around a little there after my semester was done, then I went home. So I was able to cook for myself. So yeah, and then when I went home, it wasn't necessarily Furman style when we did Furman style. We did a lot of smoothies in the morning and lunch, and then dinners would be more legume and vegetable based, especially me. I ate quite a bit of legumes and vegetables. Yeah, and now we are more on a starch-based diet. I am now in Australia. I traveled to Australia in the beginning of August, and we're eating a lot of starches now in the forms of rice and potatoes earlier, maybe a month ago, but now we're more on rice and legumes and things like that, not as much banana because it's not as affordable. And over this period of time, I have learned so much about health and about what people actually know. That is what has inspired me to do this. I want to educate people about what healthy eating is because there's so much misinformation and so much propaganda, so many myths out there, and the truth really needs to get through that a high carb, low fat, whole foods, plant-based lifestyle is the way to go. You're gonna feel great, you're gonna look great, and you're gonna prevent so many diseases. It's unimaginable. Food is the basis for everything. It's the basis for how we feel. It's the basis for what diseases we get and do not get. It's the basis for how we look and how we act. So that's my story. If you want any more details, feel free to contact me if you have any questions or comments. And if you're thinking about transitioning into a vegan lifestyle, I would love to be able to help any one of you. So that is the video. Please subscribe to the Carob Cherub channel. Please like Carob Cherub on Facebook. Go ahead and check out Carob Cherub online at carobcherub.com. I have a smoothie book, and I also have another book called Single Serve Nutrition. So check them all out. Like this video, share it with your friends, do all that stuff, and have an awesome day.